Imagine this. It's 7:30 in the morning and you're at the office, maybe already on your second cup of coffee, feeling that early morning hunger creeping up. Maybe it's a bagel, maybe it's some eggs, or if you're trying to stay good, maybe you're having a smoothie. But here's the thing. Have you ever thought about the possibility that skipping breakfast might actually be better for your health? It's a bit of a curveball, right? You've been told for years that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that eating soon after waking up is non-negotiable if you want to be productive, healthy, and energized. But what if I told you that there's a growing body of evidence suggesting that the real key to feeling better, losing weight, and maybe even living longer could be found in simply skipping meals, on purpose? Today we're talking about intermittent fasting, and I'll be honest, it's a bit of a hot topic right now. Everywhere you look, someone's touting its benefits. Whether you've seen people fasting on Instagram or heard it being discussed at the gym, you've probably wondered, is intermittent fasting the real deal, or is it just another trend that will fade out? Well, I'm here to help you make sense of it. I know what it feels like to be inundated with conflicting information, and when it comes to something like intermittent fasting, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or even skeptical. But I want you to walk away from this conversation with clarity, the real truth behind fasting, how it works, and who should consider it as a part of their lifestyle. You see, the hype around intermittent fasting isn't entirely unearned. This isn't just some fad. It's backed by science, and what we're going to dive into today is exactly how it affects your body, from how it burns fat to how it might even protect you from disease. Sounds pretty compelling, right? Now, let's pause for a second and think about this. How many times have you heard someone say, "I just don't have time to eat breakfast," or maybe, "I'm not hungry in the morning"? And then, what's the response you get from the usual advice? "Oh, but you have to eat something. You need that energy to start the day." But what if the energy boost we're all chasing could be found somewhere else? What if you didn't need that breakfast to get you through the first few hours of the day? There's something almost counterintuitive about it, isn't there? It challenges everything we've been taught. And it's exactly that challenge to the norm that makes intermittent fasting so intriguing, and a bit of a puzzle. Because let's face it, we're told constantly to eat 3 square meals a day. Yet, here comes intermittent fasting with its premise. What if you didn't need to eat for 12, 16, or even 24 hours? What if you could still feel energized, burn fat, and be healthier by not eating during those hours? I know. Some of you are already thinking, but won't I just feel miserable? Won't I get hangry? And that's where the magic of intermittent fasting starts to take shape. Fasting doesn't mean starving yourself. It's not about depriving your body. It's about timing your food intake in a way that optimizes how your body uses energy. Imagine giving your body the space it needs to repair and burn fat without having to constantly feed it. It's almost like giving your body a break from digestion, a break from processing food every few hours. And believe it or not, that's where the health benefits lie. But here's where it gets even more interesting. While intermittent fasting is largely discussed as a method for weight loss, its benefits go far beyond that. It's about more than just burning fat. It's about how fasting can improve your metabolism, support your brain health, and even reduce the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. This isn't just about looking good in your summer clothes. It's about long-term health and vitality. I want you to think about this for a moment. What if there was a way to optimize your metabolism without needing to follow the latest diet trend? What if you could avoid insulin spikes and crashes that leave you feeling sluggish and craving that afternoon snack? Well, intermittent fasting might be the key. Now, before you jump to any conclusions, I want to make one thing clear. Intermittent fasting isn't for everyone. It's not some one-size-fits-all solution. That's why we're going to break down the real science today, so you can decide whether this eating pattern is right for you. There's no magic bullet when it comes to health, and fasting is no different. It's a tool, and like any tool, it has to be used in the right way. It works for some people and not for others, and that's perfectly okay. But here's the thing. What I want you to take away from this podcast is that fasting isn't just about not eating. It's about giving your body the chance to reset, recharge, and focus on healing. It's about understanding the when and why of eating, not just the what. And while we're often told that we should be eating constantly to keep our energy levels up, intermittent fasting asks a simple question. What if we gave our bodies the space it needs to truly work optimally? And so, as we dig deeper into the world of intermittent fasting, I want you to keep an open mind. I'm not here to tell you that this is the answer to all of your health problems. What I'm here to do is give you a clear, honest picture of what intermittent fasting really is, and more importantly, how it works, so you can make an informed decision about whether or not it's the right fit for you. Because here's the bottom line. It's not about chasing the next quick fix diet. It's about understanding your body, your metabolism, and your unique needs. And if intermittent fasting aligns with your goals, it could be one of the best tools you have for achieving a healthier, more balanced life. So let's dive in. Grab your coffee, or whatever you need, and let's uncover the truth about intermittent fasting. Trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll have a lot to think about. And maybe, just maybe, a few changes to make in the way you think about food and health. Let's get started. All right, let's start at the very beginning. What exactly is intermittent fasting? You've probably heard the term tossed around here and there. Some people swear by it, others claim it's just another passing trend. But let's strip away all the noise and get to the heart of what fasting really is. At its core, intermittent fasting is an eating pattern, not a diet. It's about timing, not restriction. It's the idea that you can eat food, feel satisfied, and still achieve health benefits, all by adjusting when you eat rather than what you eat. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, but how does this actually work? Well, think of your body like a well-oiled machine. But like any machine, it needs periods of rest to function optimally. When we eat, we are essentially turning on the machine, and it starts using energy. That energy primarily comes from what's in our stomachs, sugars and fats from the food we've just consumed. But when we don't eat for a while, our body has the chance to shift gears. It starts using stored fat as energy, cleaning house, doing all kinds of maintenance work. And that, my friend, is where the magic of intermittent fasting happens. Let me paint a picture for you. Think about a time when you had a long night. Maybe you skipped dinner, or maybe you ate late, and then you woke up the next day not particularly hungry. You had a cup of coffee maybe, but didn't eat anything until the afternoon. How did you feel? Lighter, more energized, maybe even more focused than usual. Now imagine if you could harness that feeling on purpose. That's the premise of intermittent fasting. You give your body the time it needs to fast, and then when you eat, it's like flipping the switch and powering up a system that's ready to work, burning fat, improving your metabolism, and giving you all the benefits of a well-rested machine. The truth is, intermittent fasting isn't some kind of extreme form of starvation. It's not about depriving yourself of food or punishing your body. It's simply about taking advantage of the natural rhythm of your body and giving it the space it needs to reset. It's not a diet, but an eating pattern that's about working with your body's built-in cycle of rest and activity. Here's where it gets interesting. The way your body processes food isn't a simple, one-time thing. When we eat, the body enters what's called the fed state, where the body is busy digesting, storing, and using the energy from food. This is the period where insulin levels rise, a natural response to eating. Insulin helps shuttle the food you've just eaten into your cells, giving you energy. But here's the thing. As long as insulin is in your bloodstream, your body isn't going to burn fat. The body prefers to burn sugar first because it's easier. So, when insulin is high, fat burning is pretty much on pause. This is where fasting changes things. When you stop eating for an extended period, insulin levels drop. And when insulin drops, your body switches to burning stored fat for energy. That's the beauty of intermittent fasting. It's not about eating less food necessarily. It's about creating a window where your body can naturally turn to fat for fuel, helping you burn those calories without having to consciously diet. Now, I know this might sound like a whole lot of science talk, and don't worry, we're not diving into deep technical jargon today. But think about this in real-world terms. Have you ever noticed how, when you're busy or distracted and you forget to eat for a while, your body feels more focused, almost as if you're in work mode? Well, that's because your body isn't spending all its energy on digesting. It's out there, scavenging for energy from your fat stores, keeping you sharp, focused, and lean. But how does fasting fit into your everyday life? You might be wondering, if I'm supposed to skip meals, how do I know what kind of fasting schedule works best for me? The good news is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Intermittent fasting is about flexibility. It's about finding a rhythm that works for your schedule, your lifestyle, and your health goals. And here's the key. It doesn't mean that you have to go days without food. No, the idea is to find an intermittent eating window where your body has enough time to reap the benefits of fasting without feeling miserable or deprived. For most people, the 16-to-8 method tends to be the most popular. It's simple. You fast for 16 hours. That's essentially overnight, plus a few extra hours in the morning. And then you eat during an 8-hour window. Think about it. It's like skipping breakfast, but you still get to enjoy your lunch, dinner, and any snacks within that 8-hour window. For others, there's the 5-2 method, where you eat normally for 5 days of the week and then eat very little, around 500 to 600 calories, for 2 non-consecutive days. This is a more flexible version of fasting that doesn't feel quite as restrictive, and you can adjust it to fit your life. But here's what I want you to really take away. Intermittent fasting isn't about starving yourself or depriving yourself of food. It's about giving your body a break from the constant influx of calories and letting it do its thing. Just like you wouldn't run your car's engine non-stop, you shouldn't be constantly fueling your body. And when you stop eating for a period, you're giving your body the chance to reset and take care of itself. And while many people use intermittent fasting as a tool for weight loss, the benefits stretch far beyond just shedding a few pounds. Research suggests that intermittent fasting can have a positive effect on insulin resistance, lowering blood sugar levels, and even boosting your heart health by reducing cholesterol and inflammation. Plus, intermittent fasting has been linked to improved brain function and longevity. It's about creating an environment where your body can do more than just survive. It can thrive. So let's get real for a moment. We're often bombarded by the latest miracle weight loss diet or trend, but intermittent fasting isn't about depriving yourself of food or following some rigid set of rules. It's about recognizing that your body is more than capable of going without food for a while, and that, when done right, it can actually work in your favor. Whether you're hoping to burn fat, improve your metabolism, or simply get more in tune with your body's natural rhythms, intermittent fasting might be the tool you've been looking for. As we move forward in this conversation, I want you to keep an open mind. Yes, fasting sounds a bit radical at first, but when you truly understand the science behind it, it's not so much a diet as it is a natural way to give your body what it needs. It's about giving your body the time to heal, burn fat, and perform at its best, all while still enjoying the food you love. And if you're thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually get started? Well, don't worry, we're going to dive into that in the next section. But for now, just think about this. What if you didn't have to eat every few hours to feel good? What if giving your body that time to reset could actually make you feel more energized, healthier, and more focused than ever before? Keep that thought in the back of your mind as we move forward, because the truth about intermittent fasting might just change the way you think about food, energy, and your health for good. Now that we've broken down what intermittent fasting is and how it works, let's talk about why it's becoming such a game changer in the world of health and wellness. You see, fasting isn't just about dropping a few pounds. It's about optimizing your body, your metabolism, and even your brain. There's a reason so many people are embracing it, and it's not just because they're seeing weight loss results, though let's be real, who doesn't love that? The real magic happens when you look at the broader health benefits that intermittent fasting can offer. For example, let's start with something we all deal with every single day: insulin resistance. Now, this may sound like a medical term, but let me break it down for you. Insulin is the hormone that helps your body process sugar. The problem is, when we eat too frequently, especially sugary or processed foods, our bodies can become overwhelmed by all that insulin. Over time, the cells in our body start resisting it, and this is what we call insulin resistance. It's a big red flag for metabolic problems, and eventually it can lead to type 2 diabetes. But here's where intermittent fasting comes in. When you fast, insulin levels drop. Your body gets a break from all that insulin and starts to get more sensitive to it. This means your body is better at processing sugar and is much more efficient when it comes to using that energy. The beauty of intermittent fasting is that it's not just about losing weight. It's about giving your body a chance to heal and reset. In fact, studies have shown that intermittent fasting can improve insulin sensitivity and reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. But the benefits don't stop there. If you've ever found yourself sluggish in the afternoon or struggled with that midday energy slump, fasting might be able to help. It's like hitting the reset button for your energy levels. I mean, let's face it, when you eat a big meal, how often do you feel like just lying down for a nap? That's your body using all its energy to digest and process food. But when you fast, your body isn't stuck in digestion mode. Instead, it can focus its energy on other tasks, like burning fat and improving cellular health. Now, think about how many people struggle with inflammation. It's one of those silent culprits that can lead to a range of chronic conditions, from joint pain to heart disease to even cancer. It's like a low-grade fire that's burning inside your body, causing damage over time. But intermittent fasting has been shown to have a powerful anti-inflammatory effect. When you fast, your body produces less of the inflammatory markers that contribute to these chronic conditions. It's like putting out that slow-burning fire, giving your body a chance to recover and thrive. And then there's the effect fasting has on autophagy. I know, it sounds like one of those fancy terms, but it's actually a pretty simple concept. Autophagy is the process by which your body cleans up and recycles damaged cells. Think of it like your body's version of spring cleaning. Every time you fast, your body gets the chance to go into this repair mode, breaking down old, damaged cells and creating new, healthy ones. This is huge for everything from skin health to brain function. And while autophagy doesn't happen every time you fast, the longer you fast, the more time your body has to activate this process. This is why you hear a lot of people talking about fasting as a way to promote longevity and protect against aging. But here's the part that really gets me excited: the brain benefits. We all know that as we get older, our cognitive function can start to decline. But what if fasting could help prevent that? Studies have shown that intermittent fasting may boost levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, a protein that plays a key role in brain function. Higher levels of BDNF are linked to better memory, learning, and overall brain health. And, as if that weren't enough, fasting has also been shown to protect the brain against neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. It's like giving your brain a workout, keeping it sharp and resilient for the long haul. But let's not forget about weight loss. I know you're probably thinking, well, we've talked a lot about all these great health benefits, but does intermittent fasting actually help with fat loss? The answer is a resounding yes. By giving your body more time to burn fat and less time to store it, fasting can help you lose weight without all the restrictive dieting. You're not constantly eating in a way that spikes your insulin or stores more fat. You're letting your body tap into its fat reserves and burn off those calories. And because you're not constantly snacking or eating, your body learns to rely on fat for energy rather than glucose, which helps with long-term weight loss and maintenance. Here's the kicker: fasting isn't just about getting leaner. It's about being healthier in ways you may not even realize. It's about improving your metabolism, reducing inflammation, protecting your brain, and giving your body the chance to reset. You're creating an environment where your body can work more efficiently and effectively, all by simply adjusting the way you eat. And I know what you're probably wondering. Is this all too good to be true? It's easy to get skeptical when you hear so many glowing reports about something new. But the science behind intermittent fasting is compelling. It's not a trend. It's a method rooted in decades of research showing that fasting can lead to better health outcomes, from weight loss to improved metabolic function to enhanced brain health. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The more we learn about fasting, the more we're uncovering about its ability to heal and transform our bodies on a cellular level. Now, I'm not here to tell you that fasting is some kind of magic bullet. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Everyone's body is different, and intermittent fasting might not work for everyone. But what I'm asking you to do is to consider the possibility. Consider how your body might respond to this natural rhythm, to this opportunity to reset and refresh. And if it's something that aligns with your health goals, well, you just might find that it's the missing piece in the puzzle. So, as we wrap up this part of the conversation, I want you to think about all the benefits we've just discussed. Imagine waking up feeling more energized, not because you've had that big breakfast, but because your body is already working in its optimal state. Picture a life where you've reduced your risk of chronic diseases, where your metabolism is running like a finely tuned engine, and your brain is sharper than ever. That's what intermittent fasting offers, not just weight loss, but a healthier, more vibrant life. But here's the real question. Are you ready to give your body the break it deserves? Are you open to trying something that could truly change the way you feel, both physically and mentally? Because intermittent fasting isn't just about the body. It's about giving you the tools to feel better, live better, and age better. Let that sit with you for a minute. If you're intrigued by the idea, if you feel that spark of curiosity, then keep listening. Because in the next part, we're going to talk about who should try intermittent fasting, how to get started, and what you need to know before you dive in. So stay tuned, because we're just getting started. Alright, so now that you know what intermittent fasting is all about, you're probably wondering, is this for me? Who exactly should try it, and how do you even start? It's easy to get swept up in the hype, but the truth is, fasting isn't for everyone. So let's take a moment to dig into that, because I want you to feel equipped, not overwhelmed. If you're thinking about giving fasting a shot, it's important to know whether it aligns with your life, your body, and your health goals. Let me ask you a few questions. Have you been feeling like your energy levels are all over the place? Maybe you wake up groggy, struggle to stay focused throughout the day, or get those mid-afternoon slumps that seem impossible to shake. Or maybe you're someone who's tried every diet out there but can't seem to stick to anything long-term. Sound familiar? Well, intermittent fasting could be the tool that changes the game for you. But it's not just about energy or weight loss. Fasting works because it taps into how your body naturally processes food. For some people, it's a game changer. The idea of eating within a window and fasting for a period of time feels liberating. You stop obsessing over food every few hours and instead let your body focus on other things like healing and fat burning. It gives you the freedom to not feel tied to eating every couple of hours. Now, I know you're probably asking yourself, but what if it's not right for me? The truth is, intermittent fasting works best for people who are relatively healthy and have no underlying medical conditions that would make fasting risky. If you're already struggling with a lot of health issues like low blood sugar, eating disorders, or certain chronic illnesses, fasting might not be the best approach. You don't want to go down a path that could make things worse. And that's a critical point. Fasting isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a tool, and it's important to consider if it aligns with your health needs and lifestyle. Let me give you an example. Take someone like Mark, a friend of mine who's been struggling with his weight for years. He's tried every diet, low carb, paleo, keto, you name it. While some worked for a short while, he always found himself falling off the wagon. After hearing about intermittent fasting, he decided to give it a try. What he found was that it wasn't just about weight loss, though that was definitely part of it. It gave him more energy, a clearer mind, and a sense of freedom he hadn't had in years. He didn't have to constantly be thinking about food, planning his next meal, or feeling guilty about the foods he ate. It worked for him because he didn't need to follow restrictive rules. He just had to follow a simple eating window that fit his routine. But let's be honest, this isn't everyone's experience. Maybe you're someone who loves food and doesn't want to skip meals. Or maybe you have a job that requires you to be constantly on the go, and fasting feels like a hassle. If that's the case, fasting might not feel like the right fit. And that's okay. There are plenty of other ways to optimize your health and energy. The goal here is to find what works for you, not what works for the person down the street, or the celebrity who's endorsing some new diet. So, if you're curious about intermittent fasting and you think it might align with your goals, where do you even begin? Well, I'm glad you asked. Starting intermittent fasting doesn't mean you have to dive in head first with a 24-hour fast. You don't have to jump straight into something extreme. Instead, it's about finding a rhythm that feels natural for you. A lot of people begin with the 16-8 method, which is one of the most popular forms of intermittent fasting. The concept is simple. You fast for 16 hours and eat during an 8-hour window. For example, if you finish dinner at 7 p.m., you wouldn't eat again until 11 a.m. the next morning. That might sound intimidating at first, but let me tell you, it's actually easier than you think. The key is that you're sleeping through most of the fast, and you can drink water, tea, or black coffee during the fasting period, which helps curb hunger and gives you the energy you need to power through the day. I know some of you are probably thinking, 16 hours? No way. But think about it this way. When you wake up in the morning, you're already halfway through the fast. So it's not like you're forcing yourself to go without food all day long. You're simply shifting the timing of your meals, and you don't have to force yourself to eat a massive meal during your eating window. The goal isn't to stuff yourself. It's just to eat normally and not overeat. That's the beauty of intermittent fasting. It's more about when you eat than what you eat. But here's something I want you to keep in mind as you start. It's crucial to listen to your body. If you try a fasting method and it doesn't feel right for you, don't force it. If you find that you're feeling overly hungry, weak, or just mentally foggy, then intermittent fasting might not be for you. Or maybe you need to tweak the timing of your eating window. The goal isn't to feel miserable. The goal is to find balance and feel good. So, start slow. Try fasting for 12 hours instead of 16. Gradually work your way up if you feel comfortable doing so. Another important thing is to make sure that during your eating window, you're fueling your body with nutritious whole foods. I can't stress this enough. Just because you're fasting doesn't mean you can eat junk when it's time to eat. If you're breaking your fast with a sugary snack or a massive plate of the processed foods, you're not giving your body what it needs to function at its best. Eating balanced meals with healthy fats, lean proteins, and plenty of vegetables is key. And hey, it doesn't hurt to treat yourself every once in a while. But remember, you're in this for long-term health, not just a quick fix. Starting intermittent fasting is about taking small, intentional steps to reset your body. It's about becoming more mindful of your eating habits, more connected to your body's natural rhythms. And if you give it time, you might start noticing subtle changes. Maybe you'll have more energy, feel sharper mentally, or start seeing the physical results you've been craving. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. But it's one that could bring huge rewards if you're willing to stick with it. So, as you sit with all of this, ask yourself, is this something I could try? If you're intrigued by intermittent fasting, I encourage you to experiment. You don't have to make it a permanent change right away. Start small, see how you feel, and go from there. Because when it comes to health, the best approach is the one that fits into your life and supports your long-term goals. And if you're ready to dive in, remember, you don't have to do it alone. Keep learning, keep adjusting, and always listen to your body. You've got this. The key is to find balance, not perfection. Let me know how it goes. I'm rooting for you every step of the way. So, as we start to wrap up today's conversation about intermittent fasting, I want you to take a moment and reflect. Everything we've talked about, from the science behind fasting to the health benefits to whether or not it's something you should try, has hopefully given you a new perspective on how our bodies function and how we can make them work better for us. But it's up to you now to decide what comes next. Maybe you're someone who's already tried intermittent fasting or experimented with different eating patterns. If that's the case, I'd love for you to think back to how it made you feel. Did it feel like a natural fit? Or did it challenge you in ways that led to some insights? Every journey with food and health is unique, and intermittent fasting might just be the key that unlocks something new for you. Or maybe it's not. That's perfectly okay too. There's no shame in trying something and realizing it's not the right fit. The key is being open to the possibilities and finding what helps you feel your best. And if you've never tried intermittent fasting before, but something about today's episode has sparked your curiosity, I want to challenge you to give it a go. But don't dive in head first expecting immediate results. Start slow, take it one day at a time, and pay attention to how your body reacts. It could be as simple as skipping breakfast for a day or extending your fasting window by just a couple of hours. Notice how your energy feels, how your focus shifts, and how your relationship with food evolves. Think about it. What if intermittent fasting could give you more mental clarity, better focus, and energy that lasts throughout the day? Not just because of that morning cup of coffee, but because your body is running in a way that's more efficient, more attuned to its natural rhythms. Imagine being able to break free from the constant cycle of meal prepping and overeating, and instead, tune into your body's needs, finding balance without obsessing over every meal. Of course, there are other ways to optimize your health. Maybe fasting isn't your thing, and that's totally fine. Maybe it's something else, a new workout routine, a change in your diet, or a commitment to better sleep. Whatever path you choose, the most important thing is taking ownership of your health, listening to your body, and doing what works for you. But here's what I want to leave you with. Don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to try something new, even if it feels a little outside your comfort zone. Health isn't a one-size-fits-all model. It's a personal journey, and it's filled with twists and turns, trial and error. And intermittent fasting might just be one of the tools that helps you along the way. But it's only a tool, not the answer to everything. The real magic happens when you combine it with a mindset of curiosity, a willingness to be kind to yourself, and a focus on long-term sustainability. As you go forward, I encourage you to keep an open mind about the possibilities that intermittent fasting could offer, whether it's weight loss, better metabolism, improved brain function, or just a new way of relating to food. Be gentle with yourself as you experiment, and remember that health is about progress, not perfection. And before you go, I want to ask you something. What's one thing you can do today to move closer to your health goals? Maybe it's trying out an intermittent fast for a day, or simply committing to paying more attention to how your body feels after each meal. Whatever it is, take that first step. Commit to it, see how it feels, and take note of what changes in your body, physically, mentally, and emotionally. The journey is about small, consistent changes, not giant leaps. And you don't have to do it alone. So, if you're feeling inspired, I'd love for you to share your thoughts or experiences with me. Let me know if you've tried intermittent fasting, or if you're planning to give it a shot. We're all in this together, and your story could help someone else who's on the same journey. If you like this episode and want to dive deeper into more health and wellness content like this, don't forget to subscribe. We've got so much more coming your way, and I don't want you to miss out. And if you found value in today's discussion, take a moment to share this with a friend who might benefit from hearing it. You never know how your story or a little piece of advice could change someone else's life. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you feel a little more empowered and a lot more curious about the way you nourish your body. Remember, this journey is yours to define, and every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward better health. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care and keep thriving.